I'm TK, the founder and CEO of ToutApp, and the number one skill I've learned as CEO in the 4.5 years of running this business is how to be a great salesperson. It's not just about the pixels and the buttons and the product, but it's also about being able to sell to investors, being able to sell to employees, and being able to sell to customers on the vision and the mission of the company and why we're all together and what we're trying to do. So it was 2011, and one of the investors that I really wanted was Esther Dyson. And I came to know Esther Dyson while I was pitching the New York Tech Meetup, and she had asked a question from the audience when I presented it, and I got her contact information later on, and I reached out to her and said, hey, we're raising an angel round, would you be interested in investing? She said, hey, I would definitely love to learn more, but my schedule is crazy. So if you can give me a ride from my hotel to the airport, and we can talk then. And without even thinking, I said, absolutely, I will pick you up and I'll drop you off and we can talk along the way. I was so nervous because I'm driving Esther Dyson, who's a prolific angel investor, to the airport. Part of me is trying to pitch the business and sell her on the value proposition, sell her on me, because at that point I was the company, I was the only person in the company. And at the same time, I'm trying to make sure I drive carefully to the airport and don't crash the car. 10 minutes into the drive, we were still another 15, 20 minutes away from the airport, and she's like, well, you know, I thought about it and I'd like to invest. Anyway, so I'm headed to Russia now. And it was one of those, like, she put in the sentence and said the other thing, and I'm trying to drive and keep the conversation going, and I was like, oh, that's great, we'd love to have you on. Tell me about your trip. It just happened really quickly, and it was one of those moments where I had to keep my cool and keep driving, but it was just really awesome. We were a 3-person company, and we were interviewing for engineers. And this would actually be one of the first engineers we bring on beyond myself into the company. I remember Steven, who's our engineering manager now, kind of rolled in for his interview. And as we got to talking, I figured out that he's a great guy and he cares about growth in his career and working on cool technologies. And at that point, I was able to tell him about, hey, we're a very small company. You're going to get a lot more responsibility and you'll be able to really grow and take on things that you won't get an opportunity to do anywhere else. And it's also going to be a lot of fun, and we have really great people. You'll get to meet them. Steven ended up being an integral part of how we built out the company. And if he wasn't here, just much like a lot of critical people in the company, I don't know where we would be. Customers want to hear from the CEO, and they want to look into your eyes, and they want to understand who is the person that's running the company and what is their vision and where is this headed. They're not just buying the software, they're buying the people and the idea and the vision. And I didn't really see that before. I saw it as, the software is fantastic, purchase it, it will drive ROI for you. But along the way I realized we're not just selling software, we're selling a solution, and that includes our customer experience and our people. And it has become a huge component of my job as CEO, going into deals and meeting with customers, and I'm able to go and say, hey, I understand this is where Tout fits in, these are the things you care about, and here's where we're headed, and we're really excited about how we're going to continue to drive value for you in this way. Selling can be a dirty word to a lot of founders and to a lot of technical and logical people because they look at it as something not as honest. But I think true selling, the type of selling we strive for here at Tout, the type of selling that prevails, the consultative selling, the partnership selling, is a huge part of the job, and I absolutely love it because that's really what makes businesses successful. If you're just doing transactions with your customers, it just doesn't go that far. But if you're forging an emotional connection, true business partnership where you understand what they care about and how you're going to help them achieve that, and you happen to sell them software to help them do that, that's so much more powerful. And as soon as founders and CEOs embrace sales in that way, the more successful they're going to be in their company.